Welcome to I'm Doing Well. This is my podcast. I burned 4 chocolate chip cookies. Like, just completely. I so I was telling you, right? I now warm up, prepare my own chocolate chip cookies because I in some messed up way think that that's more healthier is a educational way to say that. Educational. That's not very educational in itself. Healthier rather than more healthy. That's the intellectual, scholarly approach to that vernacular. Okay, I burned 4 chocolate chip cookies, right? Because, I warm them up myself, so you would think Garv's doing it. There's no way it goes wrong, but hey, I'm just one of the guys, you know? I Jesus. I've talked to people about this before. Do you ever say something and then just like you realize after it comes out of your mouth, like it processes in your brain and then it comes out as words, and then you're like, God, like you govern the person you are, right? But then you perform these actions and you're like, damn it, I hate myself. Sometimes that happens. For me, does that ever happen to you? There's like times when I will do something and then I was like, if I wasn't me, would I like that person? Actually, even being that person, I'm like, I don't even like this person. I always, I've been starting my past, the second half of the podcast by, saying my intro and then starting into some kind of story. And if you want to know how I plan that, I basically say, okay, this is where I want to start. And that's really all I do. Now, I just think of like, where am I going to start? And then from there, I pretty much just go. I have like a beginning thing I want to talk about, where I want to start, and then like maybe a second half thing I want to talk about. And if I hit number 1, number 2, not the, bowel 1 and 2. I'm talking about, if I hit point 1, point 2, then I'm like, that's good enough. In the first half of this podcast life, I didn't have a plan. And I said, oh, this is really messed up to not have a plan, because then it's just me rambling and I don't even know what the point of any of it is. But then it's like, what even is the point of this? There isn't a point. It was just so I can upload a thing every week so that I get more productive with video making. So it's like, how much responsibility can you put on yourself to make this even good? Should you care if it's good? Sorry. But, then you get to this point where I knew I was going to talk about my cookie fiasco, and then I ended up talking about how I hate myself. That wasn't in the plan. The plan was talk about cookies, and then there's this thing I was going to talk about later. I didn't know I was going to talk about how I hate myself, but here we are. And that's the magic of this whole thing, is what I'm saying. Another thing that I didn't think was going to happen, this shirt and this sweatshirt, that's why I wear to sleep, I woke up last night. I woke up this morning. Okay, fine. I woke up at 2 p.m. and I wouldn't change out of this. I'm not going anywhere. Well, no, I got fast food 2 days ago. And I wore my pajamas to do that as well. Damn it. Okay. But I decided, I'm going to wear this, but I don't want to just wear, this. So I slapped on this flannel. This flannel's kind of, furry in the inside. And another thing I didn't account for was how hot this is. Holy, it's so hot. I'm sweating. You can't see it because, my skin's perfect. But you can't see it. That's perfect skin. First of all, perfect skin doesn't mean suddenly people can't see your sweat. Secondly, I don't have perfect skin. It looks like a battlefield because in middle school and high school, when, adults tell you, hey, don't pick at your face, it's going to leave scars, you don't care because it's all about instant pleasure. Get that thing off your face. But then there's a cut and people are like, ooh, Who's old Scarface, huh? And we're not talking supervillain. Oh, okay. Anyways, I burned 4 chocolate chip cookies. And when I first was making cookies, I was making them in the oven. You know, the big oven where you pull down the lid. Well, no, all ovens do that, except the one where you like load it on the side and then 2 toasts pop up like pew. That's not, nope. That sounds like if you went to the Buzz Lightyear ride at Disneyland. That's what that sounds like. Pew pew. And then you don't even make the leaderboard because you're trash and your partner steals all your points. That's, you know what? That's why I don't get good scores on that ride, because the person next to me is always screwing me. Hey now. Am I getting action? Okay. God damn it. No, they're always screwing me because when you when you pop the target, like it goes away for like 2-3 seconds. And so then, my partner's always, shooting my targets. Which one's my targets? All of them. But they're stealing them. They're stealing all my targets. Those are mine. Anyways, I was warming up cookies in this oven and I got it down to a science, Preheat 350. That takes, 10-ish minutes to preheat, 10 to 15 minutes. And then you pop in the cookies, 13 minutes, perfect. They look amazing. But, when I was doing that at first in the oven, my mom was in the kitchen. She was like, hey, you might want to also try maybe later putting them in the toaster oven, which is a smaller oven. And did I just explain to you what a toaster oven is? Yes. I apologize. In the epidemic, I don't know what epidemic means now, I realize, but we're just going to use the word like I know what it means. In the epidemic that is mansplaining, yes, I am part of the problem. Man, I just tried to explain what a toaster oven was. Like you're not a human being, God. I'm the problem. I'm part of the problem. I almost said I'm the problem. But that's taking too much credit. Even look at me being greedy. I wanted to claim all of mansplaining as my problem. But no, I'm only a little piece. I didn't, if you looked in my brain for the notes on how this podcast was going to start, all it says is cookies. I wasn't supposed to talk about how I hate myself, how it's really hot right now, and how I mansplain. These were not supposed to make the cut. They weren't even in, the first draft. Just supposed to be cookies. But my mom suggests maybe we go toaster oven. It's a little quicker. You don't have to wait for the oven to, preheat and then wait 13 minutes. I bet a toaster oven could get it done pretty fast. So I said, oh yeah, that's a really good idea. I might revisit that, do it later. Well, later happened. And, well, yeah. That happened. I know. I messed up. Well, did I? No, I did. Because my cookies look like this. Not even cookies. They were pretty much coasters at that point, really. I let them cool for like a couple minutes and then holy shit. Yeah, no. Your tables are safe. No liquid getting in through that thing. It was like harder than cork, But I followed all the same instructions. I, kind of preheated a toaster oven to 350. I put it on 350, then let it sit for a little bit, and put in the cookies for 13 minutes. Didn't work out. Did not work out. So I went to my mom and I was like, I burned the cookies. She was like, oh, huh. What are you going to do now? I was like, should I just do the oven? She's like, no, do the toaster oven still. And it's that resilience that is lost on this generation. Me, I want to take the easy way out. I was like, let's go back oven. I know what to do. Let's just get results. And she was like, no, figure it out. figure it out. Go back in there. Try it out. But I was like, Mom, it's 11:47 p.m. I just want chocolate chip cookies. She was like, figure it out. No. So I went back, okay? I noticed, hey, let's go half the time. Well, actually not really half the time. A little more than half the time. I go in 8 minutes. Don't preheat the oven, okay? I form these perfect balls, as you can see in the picture. Okay, not the best angle. We'll go to the next picture. Okay, that's a good picture. And, you know, I never done this. I usually just scoop them out, put this ugly blotch of cookie dough. But now, I'm determined. Roll them into balls. So there we go. We got them in balls. If you're cooking with balls, you're doing great. And yes, okay, I'm still growing up. I'm still very immature. I did just laugh. So, you know, I put them in. I'm watching them. It's looking good. It's looking good. Happy with what's happening. Notice they get pretty brown. Take them out. Boom. They look like that. Well, the lighting's not very good in that. So, there we go. I played them. Look at that. Except when I took them out of the tray, I noticed the middle underside, a little gooey. A little gooey. And so I was like, oh, they didn't cook the middle. What had happened, I think, is it was so hot, such a small area, that it cooked the outside so fast and didn't even have time to get to the inside. You know, the rate at which the outside heated was too fast. It was an exponential heating to the point where the middle was not able. There's a very simple way to say this. The rate at which the outside of the cookie was faster than the rate of the inside of the cookie. Yeah. The outside baked faster than the inside. There we go. Okay, god damn it. See? This is why in 8th grade geometry, I fucked proofs up. Because I don't know how to, like, simplify it down. Well, no, I do. It just, you don't want to, you know? Because that's not how humans think. The reflexive property. Are you familiar with the reflexive property? A equals A. You know? What? AB equals AB. It's like, what are we doing, guys? What are we... No. But I, you know, let these cookies chill a little bit, cool down, and they were so fucking good. Holy shit. It was pretty raw in the middle, but it tasted so good. So, what's the moral of the story? Persevere, and you'll get some raw cookies. And I'll always use an oven, because, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm gonna still experiment, by the way, because it's really fast. Like, oven cooking time. Okay, let's break it down. Oven cooking time, 13 minutes. Plus the preheat. Wow, we're looking at 23 minutes. Round that up. That's pretty much half an hour. And at that point, you know, it's pretty much an hour. And so the toaster oven, no preheating required. 8 minutes. Which is, I mean, pretty much 5 minutes, which is pretty much 0 minutes at that point. So, you know, 0 minutes instant versus an hour. I mean, do the math. One of them's a little quicker than the other. So, on the topic of food, I've been taking a liking to cheese sticks. Now, I'm not saying mozzarella sticks. I am, but I'm not talking about what we know as, you know, mozzarella sticks. You know, the ones that are warm and they're breaded a little bit, you know, they're crispy on the outside. I'm talking about just straight up sticks of cheese. Straight up mozzarella sticks. Sticks of mozzarella. I've been eating them a lot. This doesn't leave this room, but I ate one right before recording this. Yeah. And I was thinking about them more. And how weird are they? You know? Because they are exactly what a mozzarella stick is, just not breaded and not warm. But it's the exact same thing as a mozzarella stick in the inside. It's just a stick of mozzarella. And then I thought, wait, are people just taking these sticks, cutting them in half, and then breading them and calling them mozzarella sticks? Is that how you make them? So, of course, my curiosity didn't take me to a solution. I was only curious, and I didn't care much beyond my curiosity. I feel like what I just said was really stupid. Um, my what is it? I'm looking for a word. Got it. My perpetual inner dialogue. I feel like what I just said is really stupid. Just that's all day. I wasn't always a big fan of cheese sticks. I was in preschool at one time. Believe it or not, yes, I did. I did start there. A lot of people are like, "Oh, this guy probably started in like fourth grade, right?" It's an extremely intelligent guy, and I hate to, you know, shatter this illusion that I put on, but I did start in preschool, just like your common folk. So while I am better than everyone, I am just as bad as the worst guy. I was in preschool at one point. I know. I hope you don't look at me as less of a person because I started in preschool. I see. Okay, so this is one of those points where I don't know if I should admit that I was just joking, because if someone did take me seriously there, I feel like they would really fucking, with reason, hate me. And I just want to say, no, I don't think I'm better than literally anyone. So, see, but then it's like, and then if you admit that it was a bit that breaks it, and then it's not funny, and it's like, I'm basically saying I don't get how humor works. And here we are. In preschool was the first time I had a cheese stick. And let me tell you what, it was an experience that left lasting effects. It was, if you think about it, it was essentially COVID. It left lasting effects. God damn it. Lunchtime, preschool. I was sitting next to this girl, and I had gotten a cheese stick with my lunch for the first time. My parents, for some reason, thought it was, a good idea. Maybe let's introduce Garb to cheese sticks. They packed one in my lunch that day. So I pull this thing out, examine it. I'm like, this is really big. I was young, remember? And I look at this thing, and I don't really know how to approach it. Like, it's just a stick of cheese, As a kid, I mean, what do you think? Do I just put this entire thing in my mouth, or do I break it up? Am I supposed to share it with the class? I don't think I knew about this tearing off method quite yet. So, when you don't know something, you ask around. So I asked this girl next to me. I said, "Hey, how do you eat this?" And she said, "Oh, you go ahead and eat it." And I said, "Oh, great, awesome. Hey, remind me if I ever need help with anything, never to ask you again." Great, yeah. How do I eat it? I eat it? Thanks, awesome, great. Actually, you know what? I am surrounded by idiots. I am smarter than everyone. Because what kind of fucking answer was that? How do I eat a cheese stick? I don't know, you eat it. Are you serious? Ultimately, am I the idiot for not knowing how to eat a cheese stick? Maybe. But she's the one that said, "How do you eat it?" You eat it. So I know at least I'm smarter than her dumbass. Okay. Oh, but Garv, she's in preschool. Okay, that's no excuse. But Garv, if there's no excuse, you didn't know how to eat a cheese stick. Okay, hey, what is this? Huh? What, what is this cross examination? Lay off. Okay. Telling you a story. So I go ahead and I eat it like I eat things. I take a bite out of it and I immediately vomit. I throw up. It was so disgusting. I didn't understand how human beings could consume such a thing. Even the, you know, landing onto the, you know, when it touched down on my tongue and the taste buds went up after it, there was an immediate rejection. It reminds me a lot of high school, middle school, just immediate rejection. And I threw up. And I look at the girl, I'm like, you did this to me. No. She said, I told you to eat it, not put it in your mouth and throw up, you fucking idiot. Yeah. See, all the problems could be solved if you just swallow. And I didn't. I spit. And I spit my insides out because I threw up. And so I took kind of a break. Me and cheese sticks, things weren't going well for us. We kind of just found that we needed to take some time to our own, just figure things out, and maybe, later, if we're more mature, we can see if, rekindle that spark and see if there's a flame. And let me tell you what, I got a fucking bonfire because in the past week, I've eaten like 4 or 5 cheese sticks. They're so good. Oh my God. Very good. Very good. Can I say a mozzarella cheese stick? Exquisite. Now the obvious next question, oh Garb, do you pull? Do you pull the cheese? I'm chomping that shit. I'm sorry. But I just take full bites of it. It's really good. I understand the appeal of the string cheese approach. I don't employ it. I just don't want to get my hands dirty, So I just peel the wrapping and I just, just go straight in. I don't have time, you know. I don't have that time in my schedule. So I just go straight in there. I hold it here and I go, That's exactly what I do. That's how I eat string cheese. Okay? Cheese sticks. A subgenre of the food discussion is where I think water exists. And I've been thinking a lot about water recently. And something that I had a thought and it made a lot of sense to me. But I was like, oh, no other human being should think this makes sense. So I just want to run it by you. If it makes sense to you, I mean, that'd be dope. It'd be great to see if there are more of us out there. But I am afraid that I might be the only one that could think this could possibly ever make sense. Let me tell you. I think water is more yummy with ice and is industrial when it's room temp. That's a thought I had. That iced water is more yummy than room temp water. And room temp water feels industrial. To me that there's so many things firing off my brain when I hear that sentence. I wouldn't be, shocked if that sentence made no fucking sense to you. Yeah, I don't think it, logically, I don't think that makes sense. But to me, I'm like, oh my God, iced water is yummy. Iced water has a dessert factor to it. Room temp water, like if you're going to a volunteering event, like, oh, pass out food, or not pass out food, but we used to do this thing where we make bags, like Thanksgiving kits, and we'd fill them with like all these different things like cranberries, pumpkin filling, all these vegetables, the whole Thanksgiving spread. I realize I have no idea what people eat on Thanksgiving. Stuffing, corn. Oh, I'm getting it back now. Apple cider, maybe, we would do volunteering events where we make like care packages of those, and then we put them in a house, and then they get distributed on a day. Or, you go and volunteer and you build a fence or something. At events like those, I imagine there being those big, here, I'll put a picture, like these packs of water. There's always these packs of bottled water, and they're always room temp, And so that's why I think it's very industrial, it's very working, blue collar water. And so it feels industrial. Whereas like iced water has this luxury component to it, It's on the rocks. It is inherently, grandiose. And so I think maybe that's why iced water has the capacity to be yummy, whereas room temp water is just to get the job done. It's very, all right, let's get in, build this house, and get out of here, I'm curious. Yeah. Does the statement iced water is yummy make sense to you? Or am I, like I said, completely on my own? Because I feel like someone might resonate with that, actually, right? Iced water is yummy. Justin Bieber comes out of nowhere. He's like, did someone say yummy? You girl, you got that yummy. And then he's just holding like iced water, and you're like, what, Justin? Justin, are you okay, bud? I got a headache the other day. Believe it or not. Yeah, you have to listen to this voice all day. I'm sure you're getting a headache. So I'm gonna take an Advil. Pop open the med cabinet. Get a little ibuprofen. I'll pour that out. This is what it looks like. And I don't know what's up with me. I remember Advil being a little like, circle tablet. And you're like, Garv, that is a circle tablet. Yes. But that's an M&M. That is exactly what an M&M looks like. Like the shape, and like there's curvature to it now. It used to be like a flat, like a tablet, Like something you would put in water and it would dissolve, and then your drink would be orange. This is an M&M. This this is the thing I used to practice how to take a pill as a kid. That's right. As a kid, I would use M&Ms and try to swallow those to practice how to take a pill. Because humans, we don't just know how to swallow pills. My family was going to Fiji for the summer. That was the first time I had to take pills. Because, when you go to certain countries, there's certain medicines that you have to take just so you're protected against something that's over there because your body's not used to it. And so, I didn't really get how to take pills. And I didn't know how to swallow. And like I said, all your problems are solved if you just, know how to swallow. In all, ages. Look, super young. If I just swallowed the cheese, I wouldn't have thrown up. Grow up a little bit. If I just take the pill, I won't get sick when I go to a different, part of the world. It helps to know how to swallow. Later on in life, yeah, it's good to know how to swallow other things. I'm still learning. Shit. I'm sorry. And so, when I was younger, my parents got me M&Ms so I could learn how to swallow and take pills so we could go to Fiji. And so, I guess it makes sense. Now Advil looks like M&Ms. It's like making a bike. Nope, this is a terrible analogy. I was going to say it's like it's not even worth saying. It's just bad. It's not an intelligent thought. It logically doesn't make sense. No one would think anything of it. No, you know what they would think? They would think, Garv, how are you so stupid? Why would you think this would make sense to anyone? I was gonna say, because when you learn how to ride a bike, and here I go, I'm gonna say it. When you learn how to ride a bike, you got a training wheel. And I was like, oh, that's why, on adult bikes, you know, we have trikes, three-wheel bikes. That's why we got those, because they're modeled after what we learned on. And in the same way, Advil is being modeled on what I learned on, which is M&Ms. See? I edit videos on my main channel. This is what gets taken out. Aren't you glad that... You want to know something hilarious? Nope. See, anytime someone starts a sentence with that, it's going to be the most boring shit ever. Anytime someone's like, oh my god, you know what's so funny? They've set themselves up for failure, Never tell someone, hey, I'm going to tell you a funny story. Always just say, oh, can I tell you a story? If it happens to be funny, icing on the cake, cherry on top. But if you say, here's a funny story, well, now you gotta meet that. You gotta make it funny, just to keep your word. Okay? You're only leaving room for failure. So, you should always say, here's a story. Never say, here's a funny story. Never say that. Anyways, you want to know something hilarious? That I said, I want to make more fulfilling content, so I'm not doing the UC Davis show. And then I make a video rating 34 movies. That's the first video I make after I say, I want to make more fulfilling content. And then I make that. By the way, if you haven't watched it, I recommend it. Please leave a like on the video. There's not that many on it. Leave a comment. That would mean the world if you left like and comment. It always makes it look like there's a community there, and that's really helpful for the channel. So I'd appreciate that. What did I want to talk about last podcast, but I didn't get into because I decided to have a therapy session. Thank you for listening to that, by the way. I don't know what... You want to know what happened to me? I recorded that, and I was like, oh, that was cool. That was a good podcast. And then I listened to it, and my whole body started cringing. I legitimately rap god, holy shit. I legitimately can't talk. When I was younger, I didn't know how to say the word legitimately, so I would always say legit. And there's times when you have to say legitimately because that's like an adult thing to say, but I couldn't, so I'd say legit. So like in school, someone's explaining a concept to you, and they're like, oh, you really don't get it? And I didn't want to say legitimately, so I would say, yeah, I legit don't get it. And it sounds so flippant and stupid, but I felt I would look stupider if I said legitimately and Frenched it up. So I would say legit. See, luckily we've evolved as a species. Now we just say dead ass. It's much more professional and it gets the point across. Where was dead ass in middle school, huh? Dead ass would have solved so many issues. But I said legitimately, guess what? I forgot what I was going to talk about. Anyways, what I was going to talk about, maybe this is what I was talking about. What I was talking about, this is what I was, God, can I just say, hey, I apologize. I'm really messing this one up. I recorded the last podcast And I was watching it, my whole body just legit. I still can't say that word. What? And my whole body legitimately started to cringe. I was listening to it, and I was like, oh, oh no. Uh, Not gonna lie, after last week, I was like, maybe I should just quit the podcast. Uh, but then I was like, no, I forgot that this isn't supposed to be good. I can't care about this. And so I needed to remind myself that Garb, don't care, okay? I started caring again, and oh wow, that's really messed up to say, huh? I started caring too much, and so imagine doing that with a person. Yeah, I felt like I was caring too much about them, so I fucking left. I uh but the thing before I, fully delve, I don't know if I use that word right. Before I fully delve into nope, that can't be right, is it? Now I'm going to say it's right. Before I fully delve, no, that doesn't sound right though. Before I dove into a full existential crisis and therapy session last week, the thing I wanted to bring up was when people say their dog doesn't like a certain food and they say it matter of factly. Do they truly believe that their pet doesn't like a thing or likes a thing? I was watching this YouTuber and they had gotten their dog apple slices, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, we got these apple slices for a dog because they really love them." And I was like, "How do you know that though?" You know? Like I'm sure there's been a time when someone's like, "Oh my god, my dog loves these," and the dog hasn't loved these, but like the normal food the dog eats is so shit that anything is better. And so even if they don't like apple slices, they're like, "Oh my god, thank you. Thank you so much because this is better than that," for lack of a better term, "dog shit you were feeding me last week. Wow. This is so much better." It's not even better, it's just different. It's it's just not as bad. But then the owner's like, "Oh my god, they're just devouring these apple slices." And then they assign this favor to the dog. They're like, "Oh my god, my dog loves these." Do they believe that? And how many times are humans right about what other species likes? You know? "Oh my god, my cat loves that treat." It's like, do they? I think more often people are right about what their animal or their pet, hates. Like our dog, our beagle, Odin, this old chap. No, he's young chap. Um, doesn't like carrots, and I think we can say that matter of factly because we've given him, little pieces of carrots, and yep, spits them out. He's like, "Fuck that. What do you?" Thought this was an apple. What the fuck is? I'm colorblind, right? All this, you cut it the same, and it looks the same to me. I didn't know this is orange. I thought this was that undescribable beige, weird color that no one can describe. Apples are a weird color, huh? They're like really fleshy. Ooh, the inside of an apple? They're like a sickly yellow. I never realized how weird apples look. Yeah, apples are really fucking weird. How have I never realized this? The inside of an apple looks gross. Maybe that's why they keep doctors away. Even doctors are smart, right? Or we think they are because they went to school for like 13 years. No. Uh, Maybe that's why doctors stay away from Apple consumers, because they're like, why would someone, what kind of psychopath would put that in their mouth? It's like a harder, fleshy cube, depending on how you prepare your apples. And I think that's why maybe we dip them in peanut butter, because, it hides their disgusting beige contour. I don't know what contour means. I meant to say like texture, but I didn't want to say texture. So, beige apple contour. But I wonder, you know, are there any people that, with their whole heart, believe that their dog loves apple slices when they say it? Because I believe them, right? Like, I totally keep getting your dog apple slices. But that cynical, pessimistic majority of my brain, I don't know why do I have so many bad thoughts? Anyways, is always like, are they though? Do they love apple slices? Or were they just really hungry that day and they're like, oh, anything, please. It's like, oh, when are you feeding your dog apple slices? Oh, well, only after hikes. It's like, well, yeah, your dog is fucking exhausted after a hike. Of course they're going to eat anything they can get their paws on. So yes, before I spiraled last week, that is what I wanted to touch on. I wanted to say, hey, do you truly believe your dog loves that? And what do you know? We've gotten to the end of this podcast too. Just talking about that. Housekeeping. Let's do some real housekeeping here. We recently hit 2,000 total channel views. Oh my goodness. How did that happen? Well, Garb, 2,000 clicks. Yes, thank you. I get it. I'm just saying. I'm not saying like logistically speaking, how did it get 2,000? I'm like, all right, Garb, chill out. Thank you so much. I just want to say 2,000. That's really dope. That I just talk about nothing for 45 minutes, and some people listen, and that's really dope. Anytime you guys send a message on Discord under the video, DMs, it means a lot, and I just want to say thank you. And to 2,000 more, huh? Let's get to 4,000, huh? But I'll see you at 3,000 first. Oh, okay, old chap. See what I'm talking about? That's the part where I'm like, how do you live with yourself, man? But thank you so much for 2,000 total views. We're at 44 subscribers. We're almost 2,000 to get monetized. No, I would still need like so many watch hours, and we're not even close to that. But thank you so much for the 2,000 views. I'm growing my facial hair even more this week, to the point where every time I brush my teeth, it takes like a minute to dry my beard. So thank you for sticking with me in this facial hair journey. I don't know when I'm going to trim it, but let me just tell you what, it's acting up, and I might have to set it right, because man, there's more of it, but it's going to pay off. Trust me. This also confirms that I don't think I ever want like a big beard, because also sometimes it gets itchy, and that's, I like keeping it short, So, thank you so much for 2,000 views. Thank you for sticking with my facial hair. Thank you for listening to me talk about legitimately food for 45 minutes. I legitimately talked about food for 45 minutes. And if you got to this point, that means you listened to all of it. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next week. Bye.